My name is DJ, and the Pokemon business has really changed this month. Oh my goodness. From last month to this month, it's just like completely different atmosphere. It feels so different. I've learned way more than I ever thought I would. Some good, some bad. So let's talk about this. Okay, what has really changed? Well, the markets have changed. And as I kind of said about a month and a half ago, you don't see the Pokemon market slow down the same way you would crypto and stocks. It's a psychology change, right? It's a crack in the system. It takes that scalper going from $100 in ETB to 90 to wait a minute, nobody's buying at 90. This takes weeks, sometimes months to happen. Then they go from 90 to 80, nobody's buying. Wait a minute, oh shit, got to pay my credit card bill, right? Like these things take a lot of time in the Pokemon world. And so when Mega came out, yeah, dude, you could literally get away with murder and you could buy anything you want and list it for any price. I always did my best to list it under market, but you could really sell anything. It didn't matter. And then things really changed for the differ. Phantasmal Flames. This is a set you either love or you hate. I will say in real life, in person, I love looking at this ETB. I just picked up a couple more of these. And it's funny because last month, I literally would have bought 50, 100, 200 ETBs if it was for the right price because I knew I could sell it like this. It wouldn't matter, man. The amount of sales that people were having, gone instantly. Fast forward to Phantasmal Flames. I think I've already started to experience a little bit of a slowdown. The UPC is going to sell all day, every day. I think so. The ETB, absolutely. And the booster box, without question. The top three, I could sell those right now. Like I said, I just got these ETBs. I personally think they'll sell out by the making of this video. I really do. It's just that quick. But a lot of the smaller products are not flying off the shelves. Yes, I did buy a good amount of these and it took a couple days, surprisingly, in comparison to some of the other products. But hey, now I'm looking at it like, wait a minute, do I even want to restock on booster bundles? I think the answer really is no. I don't think I will be because people right now, the scalpers, the stores on TCG, whoever's doing it, I don't know for a fact of who's doing it and why, but they are like pricing each other out. It's like a race to the bottom. With Mega Evolutions, which again was just like a month ago, those things stayed at 60 bucks, 55 plus for a while. It took a while for it to come down. And then now Phantasmal Flames, I think is like $48, $49. And I think that's with shipping, which is insane to think about. And that only took 1 day, 2 days. It's like, think about that. So it's a very different market that we're in because people are undercutting each other. It's like they're so worried that this entire market is going to collapse that some of the people in a way are being smart because they're like, you know what? I'm not going to find out what happens. I'm getting this booster bundle. I don't know how much they're getting it from Target, probably like $28, $29. And then they're just going to take the 40 bucks, which honestly is probably the smartest thing you could do in the short term. And then the other people who are used to buying it for like 30 bucks or they get it from distro for 27 or I have no idea what they're getting it for. And then yes, they would wait for 50 and go for that larger number, sell in a week or two. It's like everybody's panicking and trying to be the first one to sell it as quick as you possibly can. Even with a slowdown though, I do think there's going to be some great products out there like 151. I think right now these are going for about $90, maybe a little bit more. You got to look at TCG. Let me know what these are going for. I'm pretty sure it's about 90 bucks. A product like 151 for me, I find a lot of difficulty pricing because on one hand, I'm like, dude, I don't want to get rid of this product. How much longer is 151 going to be around? Yes, there should be another Sam's opportunity. Okay, great. So you open up your packs and then what? Like, it doesn't matter because it only has a year left. And are they really going to print it that much? I don't know. I think there's other products coming out for 151, but really there's not much time with 151 to be printed. So I don't want to sell those. I really don't because I'm like, I don't mind throwing this, taking this off the business, putting this in the investor side, let it sit there till next bull run and they're going to be worth hundreds of dollars each instead of 100. Maybe each one of them's worth 200, right? And then the other part of me is like, come on, DJ, there's pretty good margins on these things and maybe you should list it at like $65, right? Because I think after tax, they're like 37. So, I make 20 bucks, right? 20 bucks for my time. And so that's kind of what I did is I said, you know what? I'm going to do that. I'm going to give somebody a screaming deal. Of course, probably what's going to happen is somebody's going to buy them all, but I am limiting it to 2 per person. Give somebody 30, 35 bucks off of market. I think that's pretty fair to do. And maybe that'll go for somebody's Christmas. I don't know. I think that's a pretty cool idea. But this month has been insane because last month with Mega Evolution, it was, in my opinion, a seller's market. So if you had the product, you had all the power in the world. And now I feel like if you are the buyer, you have way more power. How do I know this? A lot of the people that I've purchased collections off of, some of them are scalpers, some of them are collectors, some of them whatever, right? I don't know these people's life story, but the point is they've all messaged me just like I said last month, but they're getting mad now when I say no, right? They come with a pretty decent deal. I'm not going to lie. A lot of the things that they're offering ETBs for like $76. And I'm like, dude, that's a good deal. And I really appreciate the offer of $76. However, Mega Evolution's going for like $85, $83, dude. Like, what do you want me to do with that? After taxes, I make what, $3? And they get mad. And I have to ask myself, why are they getting so mad? Why are they getting so desperate? It's because they know there's no one else to sell to. And so when you get in that environment, or at least for me, I just take a step back and I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. If you're this desperate to sell your product, and a lot of the time they're giving you a screaming deal, man. They're willing to come meet you. They're willing to drive to you. Well, normally they want me to drive to them, and they're just getting unbelievably desperate. And I actually got blocked by one of them, which I thought was crazy because we'd been working together on and off for like 6 months, not all the time, but every so often we would hit each other up, and I had to talk them down. But now he full up blocked me because I refused to buy a fairly large collection from him. It was a decent price, right? But the thing is, now there's 1 million people selling at that decent price. So are we in a bear market? I mean, I don't think we're officially in a bear market. If you look up the official definition of a bear market, at least in the stocks and crypto world, it is considered 20% and up for a sustained amount of time. I want to say that's multiple months. That obviously could change with Pokemon and collectibles and such. But yeah, I mean, has it been multiple months? No, it hasn't been multiple months. I'm not comfortable enough to say we are officially in a bear market right now. I would say we're definitely looking that way, but it really could change just like this. You know what I mean? So now for my business, I'm more patient. I'm like, let me just sit back. Let me just wait. It's okay if I don't make that sale. If I simply cannot sell it quickly, there's just no point of buying it. You know what I mean? If I can't give you a screaming deal off of market, 5-10%, then what is the point? And so I think they're going to get squeezed out. I genuinely do, man. I'm starting to see Lucario boxes come down for $70 and nobody's buying them. I'm seeing Mega Gardevoir go for like $68, $69. I was offered 100 of those, $69. And I said no. And they're like, dude, MSRP 65. It usually is at Target. I think about 65. After taxes, it could be up to like 67. And I'm like, dude, I get it. But like, what am I going to do, bro? We're going to put them up for $5 more? Like, it's just not worth my time. It's not worth your time. You could probably get it a little cheaper at that point. So I definitely think in the short term, if this were to continue, yes, then we could go into a bear run. But then I think about, Dream's coming out. And you know what? All it takes is one simple tweet to say, oh, wow, we got 50 basis points. And then the stock market goes crazy. And then crypto goes crazy, right? Everything could just change instantly. And honestly, unless somebody requests something for the store, and I'm probably not going to restock it. I think moving forward at the moment, and this is subject to change, I'm really not too interested in wave 2 of things because by then there's really no meat on the bone for a lot of us. And so at that point, I don't have distro. So that's kind of a pro and a con, right? Because if I had distro, I would be forced to buy all their product and I would be willing to do it at that point. But now that I don't have distro, at least at the making of this video, I'm not pressured to buy anything I don't want. I have a full-time job, man. I work 60 hours a week. I got things to do. And so this side hustle is fun and all, but at the end of the day, I'm not going to go out there and lose money. That would be foolish. It's interesting to make these sorts of videos because I genuinely see myself on this channel for quite some time, at least another 5 years or so, maybe even more. You never know. Or maybe Pokemon will go out of business. Who knows? But I doubt that. But, I want to look back on these kind of videos. I want to look back on, I'm never going to be the next Rudy. I'm not saying I am, but the way that I look at older Rudy videos and learn a lesson, I'm going to look at my own videos and be like, dang, man, I was stupid back then. Or, oh, I should have done that better. And I try to look at some of the other guys. I want to say it was PokeNE that used to talk about this, but maybe it wasn't him. You got to find that balance for your store of okay, I know this is going to sell, but I don't want it to sell too fast. That's really what I kind of like to do. But in this market, I'm kind of if it can't sell quick, I think I'm taking the non-TCG approach, which is sell it. If it can't sell fast, you don't need it, move on. You know what I mean? And so that's definitely a big change. So I have this Zekron PSA 9 that I was trying to sell my LGS. And honestly, I thought I was doing them a favor. I was going to do 70% cash, which I really didn't want cash. They had some items that I wanted. And, you know, I wanted 80% trade, which if you think about it, when you do 80% trade, they're making 20% margin plus all the extra percentage that they made on the item itself. So 20% from me plus probably another 20% or even 30% on the item, which is around 40 to 50%. That's if I trade you my item and also buy your item. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a pretty big deal because, hey, it's very beneficial to them. But all my LGSs, guess what they offered me on a Zekrom BWR, the #1 chase card? Maybe Victini is number one. It is a 9 though. I was offered 60% cash or 70% trade. I was like, 70% trade on the #1, arguably #1 card in the set? Like, are you stupid? You should have seen my face when that man told me that. Now I get it, you know, it's some trash card, it's some random SIR from the set or like an IR illustration rare or something. I get that. The #1 most liquid card in the set. Anyways, I put it on eBay, listed it $20 under market on eBay and sold it in about 30 minutes. So I made about $100 more from the sale than giving it to my LGS. And honestly, I don't see myself going back to the LGS. So they kind of lost a customer with the disrespect. One other issue that I have with that LGS, let me tell you this, they don't sell at market. So if they were giving me 70% trade and then selling me the item at market, okay, maybe I could live with that. They mark up their product to 120 to 130%. Yes, you heard that right. The products that they're selling are 20 to 30% over market. So they're offering me 70% trade in, and then they're going to get what, 50% gains? Are you that greedy? Now, if I was selling an entire collection, 70% is unbelievably fair. But the #1 most liquid card, what are you freaking smoking crack? Anyways, guys, I've rambled long enough. If you made it to the end of the video, put in #green. Then I know you actually watched my video, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. DJ's Poke Center, signing out.